So it started like this. But it ended up like this. I am Couch Coop and welcome to my Forza Motorsport review. I've been a big fan of the Forza series since the Xbox 360 days. It was a very good caterer for split screen. We don't see that on PC at the moment. And also, where's the number gone? Right, what are we up to? 8. They just called it Forza Motorsport, full stop. They shed in their numbers for some reason. As you may have heard, the game was not optimized very well for PC. Well, for any of the Microsoft platforms that it released on, Xbox included, had a bit of a tough time on release. And also, we had a bigger patch about a week ago, about 10 days ago actually, and it got dragged through the mud by Digital Foundry for not having true ray tracing on road surface and everywhere. It was heavily advertised as the ultimate, completely ray traced new car sim. I'm kind of going to take you on the journey that I went with the game. So I sort of went in at high settings and was thinking, if I keep this at 1080, I might be able to push 60 frames, but I couldn't. It just wouldn't play ball, so I dropped it down to 30. You can see the frame rates in the center of the screen at the top there, and I've got to apologize about the horrendous liveries of my Xbox friends group. She couldn't handle the 30, so I went to medium, and that released 60 frames, and it kind of stuck around. Yeah, we saw some weird stuff going on with certain parts of the track, but I didn't see the road completely removed, and a lot of that jank from the original firing up the game way back is sort of gone a bit, but that patch has still got quite a lot to do. There's still quite a lot of unfinished work to do out there. Check out the bonnet reflections though, and I love the sound design and the sort of clashing and damage of the game. It's a bit like the Battlefield COD thing, that Forza always takes damage a bit better than the GT series. It's these replays where I've seen most of my stress, and the frame counter disappears on it, but I had my GeForce one up and yeah, 50, 40 frames, certain sections go down to 30. This was heavily mentioned in the Digital Foundry video, that just huge swathes of course were just behaving very strangely on frame rates. So it's not something that's going to piss you off massively. For me, it's pretty damn devastating because the Forza replays are very industry leading. The camera angles are excellent, they always sound brilliant, everything looks incredible, you can pause them at any time, get photos. They were one of the best on the market, so to get into this and be a bit disappointed is kind of a heartbreaker, but they can improve on this. It's obviously something to do with some sort of minor mistake, because it wouldn't jump up and down like this, and the guys at Digital Foundry, using their big rigs, their biggest powerful PCs, were still seeing huge drops in the replays. Let's talk about another huge subject, and that's weather. Weather in GT7 is pretty damned amazing. They've really got quite a big job to beat that look. Now, it started with a bit of drizzle. It was quite cool with the campaign. It kind of fed it into me slowly. We do get some seriously wet weather footage, as you saw at the start of the video. But this, I was expecting some big frame drops. I was expecting some problems when the moisture started coming in, reflections on the road surface, that sort of thing. But it coped surprisingly well. It is just a bit of drizzle though. Started getting wetter, and I was keeping a very close eye on frame rates, and nothing really to write home about. It was okay. I was quite impressed with all of this. I really thought the game was going to go wrong as soon as I started seeing some dramatic weather, or when we went to night time. That's coming up, but so far so good. But the noise of the water is quite loud though. I should really talk about that static photo mode, and it's not really that workable for me at the moment. It says it's 60 frames per second, but it stutters. Look how it judders when I bring it around the back of the car. And those water effects, they're okay. I've seen a lot worse when you pause a game that's got wet weather in it. This held up pretty damn good. The difference between this and Forza Horizon 5, something I'm struggling with. 5 has got a far superior photo mode at the moment. A lot of this stuff I think is going to get ironed out, because the root of the game, its gameplay, and its really cool ideas with its campaign that I'll talk about in a second, keep me kind of glued in. You just saw the rank up there on the car. That opens up all these differences in cosmetics, and you sort of get this Need for Speed vibe by sort of sticking with the brand, pumping stuff into it, making it more badass. Here is some wet weather replay. So we can see the reflections of the rear lights. We're starting to see the headlamps interact with the road surface. This is okay stuff. And again, it wasn't 60 frames. It was like 45 on some of those notorious corners. Just cannot wait to see the end of this replay mode misbehaving. This is a replay of a race at Maple Valley, which is a notorious offender because of the trees. Something about it really sets it off, and I wasn't too unimpressed. The frames were all over the shop, and you can see that this is not a replay that anyone should be proud of. Just to put this in perspective, here's GT7. What you're seeing there is the difference between a Ryzen chip and a GTX 1660, but still I want to see Forza 8 be a bit more optimized for people with mid or low range PCs. Let's look at the nighttime very quickly because we've got some more reflections here and sort of shadows working, and yes, 60 frames stayed with me, no major jank on the track disappearing. Those days just seem to be behind me a bit now. I don't know whether it's the front end of the campaign and those original tracks that are misbehaviors, but everything seems to be pretty damn good. Now, the FSR is actually on, and I whacked it over to quality because I was getting some distance granulation on a lot of the cars when they were really far away. It's looking like a PSVR game in some areas. Did want to close off on the campaign also. Its structure's really good. Its economy's awesome. I love the way you can get to the cosmetics if you use a car more often. So that has quite impressed me. What do I think about this version of Forza? Well, if I still had 7 was taken off Game Pass, and I'm not forking out whatever that is for it, and I would play you a 7 replay and 7 gameplay. You would not be able to tell the difference at this stage. I know that's because I've got this game running at medium, and I know I need a better PC, but I know people with Xbox S's who are not happy with the performance of this game. I'd really love your feedback. If you're running this on console, please put something in the comments. And as always, I'll see you down there.